Hey there, welcome to Finding Fabulous, where this next chapter is about discovering what truly lights you up. I'm Meghan.
I'm Kristin. Through the stories we share and the incredible women we meet, we talk about life pivots, next chapters, and that moment when you feel your spark again.
Let's find our mojo and light it up. Okay. So we are so lucky to be here with Liza Roeser. And can you believe that she was born with that name?
Last name, no pun intended.
Exactly.
Thank you, great-grandfather.
Right.
That is great. She is the CEO of 50Flowers. I love this about you. She disrupted the flower industry after completing a Peace Corps assignment in Ecuador. And Ecuador is one of the world's largest exporters of cut flowers. I did not know that. That's fascinating. And she did that in the 1990s. She is now the CEO of 50Flowers. She speaks at conferences and on stages around the world, sharing her passion for entrepreneurship and women's empowerment in business.
Well, we sure love that.
So we love that. Welcome, Liza. And then I have to give a little shout out because Liza and I met, actually, I initially met her sister on something called the Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage in Spain. I guess there's different routes that you can take. We did the Spanish one. And I have to say, it was quite an amazing, emotional, wonderful, spiritual / interesting, hard experience. Would you agree?
Absolutely, Meghan. And we actually met on the Camino.
We did.
Yes.
And then I sat next to your sister, which is a restaurant. And then I literally sat next to your sister on the airplane, and they were so funny and so cute. And they were chatting. And then they turned to me after a couple glasses of wine and were like, "So did you do the Camino? And what's going on with you?" And I started talking about the podcast. And literally it was like the universe, the stars were aligned. They were just like, "You have got to interview my sister. She's amazing."
Liza, it's literally one of the first things Meghan and often said to me after her trip. I was like, "Tell me more about your trip." And your name would come up all the time.
The people you kept seeing and the connections that were made, everyone kept saying that was the magic of the Camino.
I'm having an aha right now, Meghan. On that trip, there were moments where you met people and they just tickled your annoying brain, kind of like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
And then you bump into them again and it was, "Oh, you really are this incredible person." And it really is a learning curve of sometimes the worlds collide and there's a bigger purpose behind it.
Beautifully said.
That is beautifully said. And you are 1000% right. Liza, I want to go all the way back to Ecuador because your journey into the flower business was so unexpected. You went there with the Peace Corps, which, by the way, is amazing. Could you just tell us a little bit about this journey from start until now?
I always reflect back and think, I'm this little girl from Texas that had a dream and I went after it. In Peace Corps, I fell into business development in the country and really got to learn the culture, the people, and the language. And I knew I didn't want to come back, so I just found a job. I didn't think this was going to be every door that opened, you walk through it and you don't realize that this could be a path to the rest of your life. And I found myself working in flowers, and I worked for an Ecuadorian company. Then I worked for a multinational. Then I worked for a bigger company. And I got to a point to where I just want to bring everyone, like I wanted to create a business where women could come in and work and live a balanced life. That's all I wanted to do. I saw too much happen. And who knew that little spark was going to create 50Flowers, which we've delivered to over 1 million weddings. And we continue.
Could you tell us a little bit about your actual business and just let us know, I guess, what the process is or the steps are from start to finish to really understand what 50Flowers does?
Sure. I have a great elevator pitch. I'm just going to say I've been practicing this. So thank you for asking. 50Flowers. I know. It took me only 20 years to get this. 50Flowers helps you create everlasting memories by delivering fresh cut flowers direct from sustainable growers around the world. And basically what we do is we help you take your Pinterest board or your vision and help just build that into a real life event. So dumbing it all down, you go on our website, you can book a consultation with some of the most amazing flower designers. And then we help you create your floral recipes. We help you understand how to make your arrangements. We help you with your delivery. You order flowers, they get delivered direct from our farms, which there are 350 that we work with on 6 continents. Just take a step back.
Continents?
Wow.
6 continents. So you can get a flower shipment. Say you go through the whole process and the day of delivery comes, okay? And that process is you meet with one of our floral consultants. We help you place an order. And then we then go out to our farms and we talk to all of our farmers. We get your flowers together. We put them in a box, not one box. They're in multiple boxes because they can come from 6 continents. Those flowers get delivered to your doorstep. And all along the way, we're talking there's a lot of operations behind the scene that you do not see. Those flowers arrive. You can pick up the phone and call us and say, I'm freaking out. Help me. We help you because it's a white glove service. And it doesn't matter if you have a $99 order with us or you have a $9,000 order. We are there to help you. And we help you create beautiful events. And primarily it's weddings, but we do anything. If you're throwing a bridal shower or a baby shower or a 50th birthday, we help you create your arrangements, flower arrangements.
That's so cool. So there's a little bit of creativity on the end user's part too to put it together. Is that?
Yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
It's more like a DIY, right?
Like it's definitely DIY.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like so fun, but with guidance, with expert guidance.
It's a really clever concept.
One of my favorite products that I came up with, and I have to say I came up with because I have the vision and then the team puts it all together, is bouquet bars. So I'm about to go talk to a whole bunch of country clubs. The country clubs, for their people on Mother's Day, they'll put in a bouquet bar. And it's a kit that arrives to you. You arrange it, and everyone at a party gets to make a bouquet and take it home.
Fun.
That's really fun. Super fun. I love that concept.
I mean, I've never taken a penny of funding. I don't really have a board of directors. We're flying blind for a while. Now, I would say I'm surrounded by some incredible people, an incredible leadership team, and we are growing and continue growing. Now, I've made a lot of mistakes, and taking funding would have probably thrust us faster into growth. However, I look around and I'm so proud. I have people on my team that have worked for me for decades, and that feels good.
Yeah, that's
that
amazing.
Kind of dedication.
That's amazing. And to look back and think, I just did it on my own. You made it work.
You stayed true to your values.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something, Liza, that stuck with me. You do say at 50Flowers that one of your core values is simple, that you grow by doing the hard things.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that you go on to say not because it's comfortable, but because that's where strength is built and confidence earned. And that is a quote. And it just resonates with us.
Life is, you have ups and downs in life, right? You have these incredible moments where you're just like riding and life is so full and you're singing the Whitney Houston song on the way to work. And then you have these down days where your kid broke curfew. There's a hurricane blowing through Miami and it shuts down all your operations, whatever it is. And those days are really hard to get through. And when I find myself in those hard days, I just look and say, okay, what's the purpose? And how do I get one foot out in front of the other? And you find your little tricks. I mean, this morning, you know what my trick was? I actually did a laughing yoga meditation.
Right. And it changes the course of your day.
I talk about that all the time. Humor over conflict or stressors. It just gets you through. It's just like a healing mechanism.
And that's growing through doing the hard things. I mean, hard things are going to happen. They're going to slap us right in the face and put us in our spot. And if you expect it to, that's another, just as a form of resilience, that you can bounce back quicker.
If you're already prepared and geared up for it, if it doesn't catch you off guard, if that's what you are prepared to face, essentially.
Yeah, prepared to face. Yeah. And it's a lot of experience.
Well, we talk about that sometimes. A lot of it is just rewiring your brain because you chose to do the yoga, the laughing yoga, which then changed the trajectory of your day, right? Had you not, you might have just felt stressed out and anxious and not been in the same place. So
Exactly.
I agree with you. Yeah. It's a lot about the practice of figuring out what works for you.
Yeah.
Right?
And I love the word choice because you did make a choice. You changed the narrative of your morning.
Yeah.
Right?
And when you're in your high, you need to say, okay, this feels really good, but what are some tools that I can think about right now and have in my back pocket for when I go to my low?
Mm-hmm.
Here's something that is one of my favorite, and I have not written about this, and I need to write about this. And by the time this goes live, I will. I have a theory that I've taught my kids, and I teach everybody around me. It's called the mason jar theory. And when you're on that high, okay, you need to grab your mason jar and you need to hold it. And you know those mason jars, that the ones that you use for canning, that they have the 2-part screw top. So just think about opening one of those up and it can sound something. And then you're so happy right now. You take a big whiff in and then you blow it as hard as you can into that mason jar. And then you close it up. And that moment that you hit that low, if you can remember, which that's part of resetting your brain, just go grab that, open up, take a whiff of it, and boom, it can
Takes you right back.
take you right back. And pull you up a little. I don't know if it'll take you that high, but at least it'll take you out of everything. Yeah, exactly. Just a little bump up. The mason.
Exactly. Well, that leads us to, was there ever a point when you thought, like, what have I done? A moment when the risk felt bigger than the possibility? And how did you move through that? Because I'm sure you had highs and lows like we're talking about.
Yeah. It's interesting that you asked that because just yesterday, I broke down with my therapist going, why am I doing this? Like, why am I pushing forward to grow and grow and grow? And it goes back to my core values. And I like to relate my core values to my favorite flower, which is the tulip. And the tulip,
I love tulip. I love a good
We're in
tulip.
good company.
Yeah. They actually, and it took me about 20 years to pick my favorite flowers because I always used to say, oh, it's the one right in front of me, or roses, because that's what we sell most of. But the tulip, what I love about tulip, 5 things. Okay. Number 1, you have to believe in a tulip. It comes in an ugly bulb, you plant it, and then you get this beautiful flower. If you saw it, you would never, ever say,
Choose
I
it,
believe
right?
it's going to be a flower, right?
Yeah.
Second off, once you cut a tulip and you put it in an arrangement, like in fresh cut flowers, I can't say out of your garden because I'm not a garden expert. Once you cut it, once we process it and it gets shipped to you and you put it in your arrangement, it continues to grow. So you know what? I just keep growing. One of my third is be bold, just like a tulip. Just the presence of a tulip is strong and it is unwavering. Next, it is live your life with grace. And tulips they follow the sun. And if you can go to a tulip in Holland, the tulip fields, what do you see? You can see them moving back and forth so gracefully. And then lastly, a tulip, it just provokes joy. Like we've said before, it commands presence. One of the things I love most about flowers, and yes, I'm in the flower industry, but I love giving flowers. We have a day that we've created. It's called Petal It Forward. It's in October. In all 50 United States now, the florists in the floral industry, we get out into the world and we give you 2 flower arrangements. One for you to keep and one for you to give away.
Oh,
And that day is my favorite day of the year. We have hit the streets of Boise and we've handed out 10,000 roses. We've included the police department, the fire department. And when you look over and you see a policeman giving flowers to a car that is stopped, it brings so much joy just to watch that.
Yeah.
And then you can see the emotions that are going back and forth between, because they're expecting to get a ticket, but they're really getting flowers.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's
then
fantastic. That is
it's
fantastic. The surprise of it, the connection, right? The exchange.
it teaches you that flowers express so many emotions that words sometimes we have trouble finding. Just let that sit for a second.
I'm so curious about your speaking engagements. What have been some of your more recent or more rewarding ones? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. The last one, I would say my biggest speech I've given was here in Boise in front of savvy women. And it's put on by the state of Idaho, and it's Women in Finance. And I got to stand up in front of 600 people and share the 5 parts of an arrangement, which is the focal filler line greenery and the vase, and parallel that to your life. And 600 women made flower arrangements, as we talked about. Your focal flower being what you focus on, your filler flower being what connects and balances out the arrangement. The lime flower is the courage that it gives you. It's what grows. The greenery is your foundation, and that's what keeps everything stable. And then the vase is what kind of contains everything. And I love the vase most of all because I'm a very visual person. And the vase is what sets the tone as well as it keeps you within your boundaries. So as women, we're moms, we're friends, we're leaders. We have to play a lot of parts. And we can find ourselves with too much water in that vase. And your vase can only handle so much. And we all know that if you take and you pour more water into a vase, what happens?
Overflows.
It overflows.
So you can take that and go, oh, wait, can I take on running the PTA this year? No.
No, I'm going to overflow.
And then this idea, if you do start overflowing, because you've said yes to everything, then pour a little water out and dial it back, right?
Yeah.
You got to figure out the right mix. It
Exactly.
keeps everything thriving
Yes.
and giving, really. Obviously, you've built an incredibly successful company, and we're so glad your word's out there also as Flower CEO. As we've alluded to here, the journey wasn't always linear. Maybe what's been one of the harder chapters for you, whether professionally or personally?
Okay. So I'm going to struggle to get through this, but I really want to share this because this is the chapter that I'm in my life. It is pinch me. I have a beautiful life. And at the same time, if you would have asked me when I was 20 what I would be at 57, it would not be where I am. I'm a divorced woman. I have 2 girls that I'm giving my all to have a relationship with. And there's a struggle there. I run a company that it's not exactly where I want it to be. And I'm being a spoiled little brat because I do have so much to be grateful for. And it's really coming at peace that I have a beautiful life and I just need to stay in that lane and turn off all the ambition that I have to have that white picket fence with a beautiful 4.5 bedroom house, a vacation home, what I thought I would be to where I am now. And that struggle, I'm living that struggle right now as we're talking because I don't have that life. I have a different life. And becoming comfortable with those expectations versus reality, that's midlife.
That is midlife. You have moved me so much for similarities in my own life, but also I think I speak for many of our listeners and our midlife friends and community, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people are going through that? And how many people are actually brave enough to say it, well, Most of us wouldn't say it as eloquently as you have.
Sure. And appreciate it. I mean, I'm only in y'all's presence. I mean, Kristin, you've inspired me. And Meghan, you've inspired me. I mean, that's what we need to create. And we need to be open and more honest with ourselves and to stop all the silliness that's going on.
I like that you use silliness too, because I do think expectations can fall sometimes into that silly part of the.
I think too, midlife for women in particular, maybe for men as well, it's a hard place to navigate. I mean, they say there's no handbook really for a new baby, but in a way there is a little bit. There's the pregnancy guide and I feel like midlife just hits you with all the things that we're talking about, the hormones, the potential divorces, the kids heading off on their own adventures, you taking a look at life and figuring out what the heck you want your next 20 years or your next chapter to look like. But there's no prep for that. I think that for a lot of women, at least for me, I'll speak for myself, I was like a deer in the headlights. I felt so stuck, I couldn't get out of my own way. And if we can even just help one woman be a little bit more prepared or have a little bit of a plan or being willing to take that first step, it would bring me so much joy because I was a mess and I didn't
off guard, right?
For it. Caught off guard.
That's what you say a lot, Meghan. I do too. And then you get stuck because you're caught off guard. Then you're talking about not having your tools.
Because we know it's coming on a level, but
you haven't really thought about it maybe to that. I don't know.
Yes.
It's a good question.
My sister just survived breast cancer. She had breast cancer diagnosed and cured within 45 days. And it was...
Thank God.
Yes. It was a Roeser move, bing, bam, boom. Let's get through it. And we did a double mastectomy. And it was HER positive. I had to rip off all my hormones. Okay. And I'm opting to do a double mastectomy because I don't have the BRCA gene. Genetically, it's not there, but I have a higher risk of having breast cancer. And coming to that conclusion was a lot of talking and a lot of people getting real and raw about it. And it is a lot of the way that I face the world. I'd rather get ahead of it than be behind it. I'd rather have the choice to respond than to have to react to that moment with her and going through that with her. We lost her mom to leukemia, and that sucked. I'm just going to say that was terrible. Horrible. But it also was a space to where there was a lot of reaction going on, a lot of unknown. And
how long ago was this, Liza?
In 22, we lost her.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And she was it was very interesting. And she was part of a $1 million study, $3 million study. And she had the first form of leukemia, and we cured her. Medicine cured her. She got COVID and then got the second type of leukemia and passed within 6 weeks. So it was a total of 3 months. It was very fast.
Slightly different note, but correlated a little bit. Your message is anything can bloom. What does that mean to you beyond the flowers? And is there something in your own life that you're still hoping will bloom?
Oh, wow. That's really personal. And I might actually go really personal too. Anything can bloom. I did I would say a 6-week, really trying to understand who I was and what the message I want to give to the world. Because as we were talking, Meghan and Kristin, 50Flowers sells flowers. And here I'm creating my personal brand. And it's like, why am I doing this? What am I doing? And it is anything can bloom is a saying that I want to bring to the world. And that if you believe in yourself, you can do it. When I started 50Flowers, I called home and actually farm exports. I called home and I said, hey, Mom and Dad, could you give me just a couple $1,000s to be able to, I want to start this company. I have this great idea. And of course, my dad's like, what's the business plan? I'm like, I did not study business. And the plan is,
I need to see the projections and the forecast.
And they said, move home, we'll give you everything. And that no is what fueled me. And I'm unique. I'm a trailblazer, that's for sure. And I needed to hear that no, because it pushed me to create with nothing. I took $2,400 of my Peace Corps bonds and cashed them in and started my first company, which now is alive and thriving today. And we sell a lot of flowers.
Yeah. Do I remember you telling me in Spain that you do 4,000 weddings a week? Is that correct?
With FiftyFlowers, we've gotten up to 4,000 weddings a week. That was the peak week that we have. On average,
it's incredible to think about. First of all, how many people has that affected right there when you think about each flower and each person?
Exactly. Isn't that crazy?
That's actually crazy. 4,000
Change the world one flower at a time.
We move a lot of flowers. We sell a lot of flowers. In fact, my book is The Magic of Flowers, and it's going to talk about.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah. And how many flowers you did for your cover shoot. Can we talk about that?
Did you see the
we
real?
Saw it. Oh, yeah. We saw the unloading of the flowers. The shoot looked beautiful.
Amazing.
Speaking of being celebrated. Amazing.
And I honestly believe every woman needs to do a glam shot.
So our final question.
Okay. And before you say that question, I want to say how just elated I am to have this time with you, Kristin. Hearing from Meghan when we met, I knew there was something special about Finding Fabulous. And then diving in and understanding and prepping for this podcast, your story, Kristin, is going to not only inspire me to be a better human and to really focus on the good in life. I will tell it over and over again, because what you've gone through and the smile you put on your face every day, it's beautiful. And the world needs to hear your story.
Oh, wow. Liza, I feel like we've been friends forever. I did not pay her that much to say that. I'm humbled. Thank you. That just made my day and week.
Final question.
Okay.
So if one of our listeners who is looking to find her fabulous, but can't quite figure it out or isn't sure if she's ready to take the first step, what piece of advice would you give to her?
Go do it. One step in front of the other. Just go do it. We can get caught up in what ifs. And instead of what if I make a wrong turn, what if you make the right turn?
We know that there are literally a million podcasts out there, and so many of them are so, so good. We'd love for you to tell your friends, family, and all the women in your life to join us in Finding Fabulous and lighting it up.
Yes, share your stories with us by DMing and following us on Instagram, TikTok, and all your social media at Finding Fabulous Pod. And please subscribe, like, and share wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.